So I'm was in a program, a forensic science program, and my teacher used to be a police officer, and he would mention how most murders are committed by Caucasian males, not African American males or any of the other demographics, but the biggest demographic is Caucasian males. So it's like crazy that we still have like this stigma against like people who are African American.
The fact that like they thought he paid with a counterfeit $20 bill because like, oh, like there's no way this black man has enough money to pay. Whereas like a white man, like of course he has money. Like what kind of idea was that?
Yeah, we need to get rid of like all these stereotypes regarding like different skin colors and stuff, you know?
I also think that the other officers who were trying to hold back the crowd from interfering with Officer Chauvin's arrest on George Floyd, they should also be held accountable because they were part of the problem by being bystanders and not standing up, especially for the Asian cops. Like, they should understand that as people of color, they should be standing up for George Floyd. They should be standing up against police brutality and excessive force against other communities when it was completely unjustified.
Yeah, they should already be aware of like all like the discrimination and racism that like POC face, you know, especially during like this coronavirus time where there's already like rampant like racism regarding Asians. They should already understand that like things are happening to like George, like they should at least understand it to like some degree where they should have stopped him.
Yeah, especially when his restraint technique wasn't actually part of like the department's training. I feel like seeing him do that, the other officers should have caught on and say like there's something wrong there, but instead they were just like standing around.
So some of you may have seen the term ACAB, which stands for all cops are bad or all cops are bastards.
So yeah, like obviously there are good people in the world, so obviously there will be good cops, but I feel like that saying is more towards the system more than just people. I see a lot of like people on Twitter using that, and people defend the system and they're like, oh no, like they're good cops and stuff. Well, look at the system like and how like ruined it is. Like it was built so corruptly. And if you're saying like no, not all cops, look at this, like what happened. The other cops, like Chauvin was the one, yes, he was the one who committed the murder, but look at the other cops, they didn't do anything.
Because a lot of people are going around and saying like all lives matter instead of Black Lives Matter, which I think like all lives matter movement is just made to counteract the Black Lives Matter movement. So if you support all lives matter, you should also support Black Lives Matter and other movements as well, because the statement is just general and like obvious, like yeah, all lives matter, but we shouldn't be focused on all lives right now. We should be focused on the Black lives because they need it the most.
I don't understand when people say all lives matter. It's like I don't understand it because the Black Lives movement, it never said that only Black Lives Matter. It never said that your life doesn't matter. They're saying Black Lives Matter too, because when you say all lives matter, you're disregarding Black people and you're disregarding the movement, because obviously Black people aren't treated the same, and obviously you don't think that Black lives matter. So this movement is saying that we also matter. And yeah, like the whole like Asian thing, like we should. I don't know why. Like I know there's like so much anti-Blackness in the Asian community, and that obviously stems from like I guess like our parents and where they came from. But you being born here, like you know better, and you should also stand up for Black people because we all are our POC and we all face discrimination. And Asians, honestly, like if you look at it, we face less than Black people do because like we have lighter skin, I guess. So we should help them. Like we obviously don't have white privilege. That's definitely not. But we have the privilege to help Black people. So like, why not?
Yeah, because it doesn't mean that like Asians don't get discrimination. It's just that we get less than Black people, you know? And I feel like we shouldn't make everything like a competition, because like right now we need to focus on how Black lives matter, you know? We shouldn't bring up like other races and stuff up, because right now we're talking about the George Floyd case.
You're bringing up other irrelevant stuff. Like, okay, it's like that metaphor that everyone's saying. Like there's a group of kids, there's 5 kids. One of them gets
hurt.
Yeah, they get hurt. Like their arm is broken, and then another kid gets like a paper cut. It's like obviously like both of them are hurt. But who are you gonna pay attention to? Who are you gonna go to and aid first? the kid with the broken arm, because they're the one that's being hurt the most. And the kid with the paper cut, they can take care of themselves. Okay, give them the Band-Aid, but you can give it later. You don't, that's not your focus. And that's what's happening right now. Like, Black people, they're the ones being discriminated against the most, and they're the ones being hurt the most. So you can't say all lives matter when the rest, like, you're not being like discriminated against as much.
I think that looting and like the violence that ensues with looting is kind of like more of like a symptom of like the anger and like the built up frustration with the police brutality over the years, as compared to like the peaceful protests. Like, obviously, like there have been peaceful protests, but at the same time, like people have also been like frustrated, and that's what might cause them to like loot. There's also people who loot for the sake of looting. Like, there are some people who like mask under like the cause of the Black Lives Matter movement, and then they loot for their own personal benefit. But that's not to say that protesters are all responsible for like the people who do that.
There are protesters that loot and stuff, but I feel like if you were to loot, you shouldn't target small businesses because most of them can't afford to like rebuild.
But at the same time, like, yeah, there's, like you were saying, there were some small businesses that can't afford to rebuild. Like, in Minneapolis, there was an African American firefighter whose nickname is KB, and his sports bar was burned down. And it's kind of counterintuitive because people are fighting for equality and for prosperity for African Americans, but like small businesses that are like owned by like African Americans are being looted and being damaged. I feel like I understand why people might feel compelled to like loot, but at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, it's a crime, right? So like, is it really okay because like you're fighting for the cause? Like, do the ends justify the means?